Alright everybody, hello and welcome as always. I am Sean. This is In the Mixer as we continue our Football's Coming Home challenge with AFC Bournemouth. And for those of you that aren't aware, it's a Christmas episode, which means, I feel good. Now it feels like Christmas. And for those of you who want to know how I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, we are on the run of my life and all I want for Christmas is for it to continue. So we now haven't lost in our last 11 games. We are on an 11-game win streak since that 3-2 loss against Leicester. Of course, in the last episode, we played Hull City and Burnley. Two great results in that game. We continued with a 3-0 win against Upperwell in Cyprus to put us top of our Europa League group. I rotated the squad massively here. You can see Magnon, Francis, Mawson, Gibson, Mings, Grealish, Sermon, Davies, Lookman, Brereton and Ings all played. Did fantastically well. I made no subs. Ben Brereton continuing his phenomenal form playing against teams from Cyprus. With 2 goals, another one to Alfie Mawson as well. I then backed it up and gave them another game. I thought they did pretty well. Played Norwich, who were bottom of the division. We went 2 goals up inside half an hour. Team played relatively well. Christopher Ayer pulled one back for them in the second half. We had a bunch of chances. We really could have won by a lot more. And it's kind of, if goal difference bites in the arse, it's probably because I rotated too much in that game. Maybe I should have played the regular starting 11. It was just to try and keep morale up as much as possible, and it was good to see that our backup players can still go out there and win games against good quality opposition. We then played Derby County away from home, a 3-1 win. Ashley Barnes getting back amongst the goals with a double. Chris Smalling getting his first for the club as well. Vidra pulled one back for them on the stroke of half-time, and they did play the last 20 minutes or so with 10 men. But still a decent performance. The only downside was Jordan Ibe actually picked up an injury. He is going to be out for a few weeks. I'll go and have a look at his injury again shortly. We then rotated again, brought the subs and the squad players back in for the dead rubber against Ajax in the Europa League. Was still an important game. I think they had to beat us by quite a bit to get top spot, which is super important, obviously, with the third place Champions League sides dropping into the Europa League for the knockout stages. But we were good. Ben Brereton, again, proving to be a Europa League specialist at the moment. Great performance from him, and Jack Grealish played really well as well. Watford, a bit of a goal fest in this one. Watford, for those of you who don't know, are the team that Miles Jacobson, the head of Sports Interactive, supports. They're usually a little bit overpowered in this game, and this year is no exception. We scored in the second minute. They immediately responded through Roberto Pereira, who is a fantastic player in this game if you want to look at someone to pick up to be your number 10 or your attacking midfielder. But Ashley Barnes wouldn't be denied. A hat-trick for him in this match. Some really good performances, some really good team play across the board. A 5-3 win. Then we travelled away to the Etihad Stadium, or the City of Manchester Stadium in the game. We did well in this. They had a ton of the ball, which they are known to do. We had more of the highlights. They ended up with more of the shots. 26th minute, a phenomenal counter-attack. Callum Wilson and Ashley Barnes both getting out early. It was a slide tackle type finish to get to a cross from Ashley Barnes. Put us a goal up. Against the run of play, I felt in the 75th minute, Fernandinho pulled one back. He came off the bench and it was from a corner routine. I think Company knocked the ball down for him. He volleyed home. And then Jack Grealish continuing his kind of hot streak of form, covering for Jordan Ibe with a 94th minute winner. It was a fantastic run from Lewis Cook in this match, who hadn't done anything up until that point. A lung-busting run forward, got to the byline, hooked a ball back stick, and I think it was like a first-time cross-the-keeper volley for Jack Grealish to get us the win, and my first victory against Pep Guardiola. For those of you that have watched the series for a long time, you remember that FA Cup semi-final we had in the last season. They played essentially like a rotated squad and still beat me, and it wakes me up in the middle of the night still to this day. We then had a 1-0 win against Newcastle. Not our greatest performance. We were the better side. We did create more chances. We had more of the possession. We just couldn't find a way through. Ashley Barnes, thankfully, the hero, as he has been so many times throughout the course of this series, getting the goal in the 81st minute to put us a goal up. There was a couple of other chances we could have had as well, but thankfully we get the 3 points to keep the streak alive. Now, what does that do to our league position? We are currently in second spot, 1 point behind Manchester City. Our goal difference does need a bit of work. Really quickly, you can see the likes of United, Chelsea, once they've played their extra game, will probably go above us again if they do get the wins in those matches. So, continuing our good form, continuing a positive goal difference is going to be super important. Game against Everton in this episode would be critical. They are only 1 spot behind us in the league. We do need to kind of get decent results against the teams that are around us. You know, those super important 6-point games where effectively they lose 3 points at the same time. And then, of course, In the other game, we will be playing Tottenham, who are an exceptional side. Currently sitting 8th, but they're not that far behind us in terms of points either. So 2 huge games. So let's get stuck straight into them. We're going to go with this lineup, which is unchanged from the Newcastle game. Rose and Trippier will play as the fullbacks. Butland, of course, in goal. Smalling and Oxford will continue their budding central defensive partnership. Cook and Drinkwater as the midfield 2. Sessegnon and Grealish as the 2 wingers. I actually might make a change. Let's put on Tom Davies for Lewis Cook. Only because Tom Davies played for Everton previously, and we know that this game loves telling you that people have scored against their former clubs. So probably expect to see Adamola Lookman in there at some point as well. Barnes and Wilson will continue up top. 14 goals for Ashley Barnes so far this season. Callum Wilson is our leading assist creator with 10 so far. We're in great form. There's nothing really to be concerned about. I just want our form to continue. That's all I care about for Christmas. I don't know who I'm praying to. Santa? Santa, is that you? Right, looking at their lineup here, Charlie Daniels, ex-Bournemouth left-back, who actually sold to Everton, will line up on the left-hand side. Seamus Coleman on the right as their captain. Holgate and Keane as the central defensive partnership. 2 good English players there. And, of course, Jordan Pickford in goal. Schneiderlin and Idrissa Gueye will hold the midfield. Theo Walcott will play on the right wing. He's been their star player so far this season. I think he's second in the league in terms of average rating. Gylfi Sigurdsson at the 10. Yannick Bolasie on the left. And Cenk Tosun, the Turkish striker, up top. So a bit of a clash of styles here. We should have a little bit extra room in midfield, given the distance between their 2 midfield lines. And I'm going to say, assertively, media have given you a lot of credit. Go out there and put on a worthy display. Let's also tell the defence that we have faith in them. We are away from home. And I'd love to beat Sam Allardyce. I did have a go at him in the media earlier this week. It's not really in the Christmas spirit. Also gave everyone the day off yesterday for Christmas, so rested all the players so that they could go and hang out with their families. I don't know if they actually do that in game, but fingers crossed. I like to think deep down it helps boost their morale. They are getting in behind earlier. Is this just a kick-off highlight? Oxford goes back to Butland. Forward to Trippier again. Crossfield switch to Sessegnon. Love it if we could come flying out of the blocks here. Wilson's gotten in behind and he gets the strike away, but it's straight at Jordan Pickford, who holds well. Decent opportunity. At least we're getting the first highlight. It's going our way. So around the grounds, Liverpool playing Man United, so maybe they will drop points today. Man City have Watford, which is always a tricky fixture. And Chelsea are playing Leicester at home. So some tasty fixtures around the grounds on Boxing Day. So maybe we won't be crushed if we don't get the victory we need. We still haven't had a draw so far this year. 12 wins, 5 defeats. We're going to try and make it 13 today. And they are yet to have a shot, it looks like, in the opening 15 minutes. Ball now with Davies. Comes back to Drinkwater, who does so well at the base of that midfield. He's given the ball away there, and Sigurdsson's coming forward. There is danger on the counter. Yannick Bolasie now cutting inside. Falls it through to Cenk Tosun, and he thankfully strikes left-footed high over the top of the goal. So there is a danger there on the counter. Committing too many fouls, apparently. I'm just waiting for him to tell me we're being overrun in midfield. You know it's coming. They're still yet to have a shot on target, though they do have a throw in here. Daniels to take towards Sigurdsson on the left wing. It's a good tackle, it felt like, from Trippier, but the ball's come through to Bolasie. Hangs the ball up, back stick. Walcott goes up, and Rose thankfully hooks that one away. I believe it came back off the post. So there's a danger. It's 1-1 at Liverpool Man United. Southampton have taken a lead. Chelsea have taken a lead, which means they go right up behind us on to 36 points. Man City during their game must have taken a lead as well, because the margin is struck back out to 3 points. We are getting towards the half an hour mark. There's nothing massive to be concerned about. Callum Wilson doesn't look like he's having the best game. Jack Grealish looks to be struggling on the right-hand side, so maybe that's where we look to bring on Lookman and Ings, but we'll still give him some time. Danny Drinkwater's not playing that well, but he's been involved in most things we've seen in terms of highlights. They are now level with us on shots. They have had a shot on target, though we didn't see it, and they are taking control of possession. Hull City are 2-0 up against Arsenal. Hull City previously were in the in the relegation spot, so that's a great result for them. Davies has won the ball back now. We go back to Smalling. Forward to Sessegnon. He's got man square. Instead, he looks for a crossfield switch that probably wasn't on. Daniels tidies up. Drinkwater plays the ball forward. It's cut out by Walcott. Bolasie comes forward, played into Cenk Tosun, and he's gotten his strike away, and Butland with a decent first save, but the rebound spills to him, and he plays that one through into the goal. We drop down to 4th spot, and I believe that means Everton go above us. It's just lazy play, it looked like, from Danny Drinkwater in midfield there. Bolasie with the ball forward, Sigurdsson with a good first-time pass. Tosun, not a great first strike, strikes it on his right, the second one bounces to his left, and he finds the side netting. Can't be too mad at Jack Butland on that one. But still, disappointing. I'll be shattered if we've gone on this run, this phenomenal run, and then as soon as we turn the camera back on, it disappears and goes away. Grealish now with a free kick. Can he beat the first man? He He does towards Smalling, and it is just wide of the Everton goal. Tottenham crushing Bournemouth in their game. Looks like Arsenal pulled one back. Escudero scored in the 19th minute and then gets sent off in the 20th for Chelsea, so that's going to be an interesting one to watch. Though we have to do the business here against Everton, and we're getting towards half-time. I can fire a bit of a rocket, which is good. Danny Drinkwater struggling big time. All right, aggressively, let's say, show me something else in the second half. Most people have responded really well to that, including the guys that are struggling, like Wilson, like Danny Drinkwater, like Jack Grealish. Danny Rose, it's tough to get a response out of Danny Rose. He's like a mannequin. He just doesn't show that much emotion when it comes to team talks and things. 9 shots to 7 in the first half, 48% to 52. Pickford now has a goal kick forward. Trippier should be able to bring that ball down, and he does. Played forward to Drinkwater. Grealish now on the right-hand side. Goes back to Oxford, who switches the ball across to Smalling. Finds Davies now. He's got runners moving ahead of him. Instead, he goes out to the right-hand side for Grealish. First time ball back across. Barnes and Grealish combine again. Gets it across to the top of the box, and Davies, with the cutback, finds the strike from the top of the 18-yard box. A fine strike by Davies. First goal after a long injury layoff. Scores against his former team. Puts us back up into second spot. Now we need to push on and try and find a winner. It's a great response outside of half-time. It's a good cutback here from Jack Grealish too. Smart to pick out the run, and Davies, that is a phenomenal finish from that little Jimmy Bullard looking ragamuffin. We'll get towards the hour mark and then we'll have a look at how everyone's travelling. I don't think Callum Wilson's playing that well. Grealish now with the ball forward. It's hit the deck inside the box, and Reece Oxford. All right, Reece Oxford, he has the fox in the box. He finds his way to get that one in. Camera cut out there for a second. I don't know what's going on today. It just seems to be cutting out at random intervals, but whatever. I'm going to keep the goal in there regardless. We are an hour gone, so let's have a look at how we're doing here. Get our tactics and stuff going. Callum Wilson will come off for Danny Ings. We'll give him an opportunity. Drinkwater has at least improved. If he's picked up 0.6 so far in only 15 minutes of the second half, we should probably give him the opportunity to continue growing and playing a little bit better. We might also bring on Ademola Lookman for Ryan Sessegnon. Sessegnon hasn't done anything wrong in any respect. I just feel like Lookman has the ability to go out there and score so that we can get 2 ex-Everton players scoring against their old team. And then we might hold on to the last sub because there's a couple of people that'll probably pick up yellow cards. There's a couple of people that you'd say are injury risks. Looking at you, Danny Rose. And then at least we'll have another sub so that we can manage those a little bit. Still a quick check around the grounds. Despite being a man down, Chelsea have gone up another goal. Pedro scored in the 46th minute. Looks like there's still a draw between Liverpool and Manchester United. Man City are 2-0 up against Watford. Tom Cleverley's gotten injured for Watford. Though they're well and truly in the second half now. That 2-goal margin, they're probably going to continue on. So today's not the day that we're going to overtake them, but it will happen at some point in the future. I'm super confident. Grealish now with the corner. It's played in, and is that a penalty? Coleman shoved Ademola Lookman, so he's come off the bench and won us a penalty. It'll be Ashley Barnes to take and add to his goal tally so far this season. Here he goes. And Jordan Pickford has saved incredibly well, and Walcott puts that one out for a corner, so not the greatest strike. We could be 3-1 up, effectively putting the game to bed. Do they have a counter-attack here from the resulting corner? No, it's a good tackle from Kieran Trippier, and Walcott goes to ground. So Walcott's on a yellow card, Danny Rose on a yellow card for us. We did talk about his liability. Sandro now comes forward. It's cut out well by Davies. The counter-attack's on. We've got a 3v2 here if we can make the right pass selection. Barnes now with the ball. Davies with the overlapping run. Can he find the finish? Lookman scored. Davies with a phenomenal run. It's a great save from Jordan Pickford, but it only falls to Ademola Lookman, and exactly what we talked about. Sign players from clubs and then play them against that team, and they will score for you. There is something not wrong with the game. I guess I'm kind of exploiting a glitch, but it's just my belief that if you play players against their old team, they'll score against their former club, and it'll tell you they've come back to bite the hand that feeds. It does it every time. But a great result. So we're 3-1 up now, 76th minute. They've got some good English talent as well, Everton. We spoke about Burnley in the previous episode and how good their English core was. Players like Michael Keane, Mason Holgate, even Tom Davies that we've picked up. They've scored another one here. I've spoken all the way through it. Gylfi Sigurdsson, pretty decent goal to be fair. Good one-touch football from a few players. Sigurdsson to Garner, forward to Tosun. It's a ball in behind to Sandro. He finds Tosun again, who plays Gylfi Sigurdsson through, and it's a good finish. Jack Butland couldn't do too much. The line was dropping towards him. He couldn't step out that quickly. Makes it 3-2. It's a grandstand finish. Let's use Oh, Jordan Pickford's got a ball now. Let's see how this plays out before we do anything. Tosun now, reverse pass to Sigurdsson, and his strike from distance isn't that good. Let's tell everyone to push forward. And then let's also make our last change. Who have we got here? Danny Rose struggling a little bit. Tyrone Mings is on the bench, so we will bring him on. And we'll confirm that sub pretty quickly because we're already into the 84th minute because I didn't hit pause. Just need to hold on 10 more minutes. I'm not going to change the instructions or the tactic or anything like that. And hopefully we can keep them at bay. Gylfi Sigurdsson's had a great game for them. Sank Tosun with a goal and an assist, an 8.6 rating for him. Tom Davies has been our best player on our side with a goal and an assist himself. 5 minutes to be added on. Where are they getting these injury time figures from? There's been no injuries that I'm aware of in this game. There's been 3 subs for each side, but they don't take that long. I did 2 and 1 at the same time. Man City gone 3-0 up against Watford, so we aren't catching them today. Chelsea remain well and truly in control at Leicester, though Jamie Vardy has pulled one back. Unless there's some late drama there, they're going to catch up. Oxford now with the ball. Surely, referee, that is it. There shouldn't be any extra time, ref. Get rid of it, Reece. Just get rid of it. Played forward to Grealish. Ashley Barnes now is there. One more counter-attack. Crossfield switch towards Lookman. Coleman's cut the ball out. Thankfully, though, Danny Drinkwater tidies up and the referee calls full-time. Look at this stat line. 18 shots apiece, 54% possession towards Everton. Relatively even shots on target. Dead even in foul count. But we are the victors with a 3-2 victory. Not forgetting that Ashley Barnes also missed a penalty in that game. Great response. Great result. And it continues our unbeaten run. Brilliant comeback. Well done, lads. Now, how much longer can this run continue? We've got Tottenham and Arsenal coming up in our next 2 fixtures. They are not going to be easy games by any stretch, but look at this green. Oh, my God. I can only get so aroused looking at a football game. Have a look at that. That is phenomenal. Let's jump ahead now to the Tottenham game and see how we're doing. All right, not much happened throughout the course of the week. There were some bids that came in for Simon Francis. He wants to leave. He's only got 6 months left on his contract. He's not going to sign a new one. If I get £1 million for him out of somebody, we're probably going to get rid of him in January and bring somebody in as coverage. Andrew Sermon's not happy with his current playing style, with his current minutes, but Danny Drinkwater's playing so well, so he reacted a little bit better. I've inadvertently hit submit team, so we'll go through ours in a second once they're side by side. Okay, only one change to our lineup. Tom Davies will continue in central midfield after playing so well. We're going to bring in Danny Ings for Callum Wilson. Callum Wilson hasn't played well in the last 3 or 4 games. It's just to try and give him a bit of a kick up the backside and see how he does. Obviously, his injury history isn't great either, so multiple games in a week isn't going to be the best for him. Looking at the Tottenham side, it's a very different Tottenham team to the one that starts the game, though they do have some strong English players in there. Lloris in goal, Vertonghen and Sanchez as central defenders. They've picked up Theo Hernandez from Real Atletico, I believe. They picked up Theo Hernandez from Real Madrid. Pereira will play on the right-hand side. Lucas Moura on the right wing. Christian Ramirez on the left. Ericsson and Dele Alli will play as the midfield too, with Eric Dyer holding. Harry Kane will lead the line up top. Some phenomenal English talent out there. You can see down here, Harry Kane has scored 22 goals in 29 games so far this season. He's been heavily linked with the move to Manchester United. We're also interested in him as well. Of course, it's not Pochettino's at Tottenham anymore. It's Vakim Lowe's. He's been their manager, I think, since the last off-season. But still, a quality squad. They're underperforming, I'd say, being in 8th position. Can we keep our run going? Let's just calmly say, we've been on a good run lately, so go out there and impress me. See if that works. A couple of players responded well. Let's calmly tell our attack as well. I have faith in you. Be the difference. Both of them look motivated, which is a phenomenal response. Danny Drinkwater will wear the captain's armband, which is great for us with Callum Wilson not starting the match. And let's hope we don't concede here in the first 5 minutes or so. If we can get out of this opening highlight, I'll be fairly chuffed. And Harry Kane thankfully puts that one out and puts my mind at ease. We are leading the league at the moment in games 1 with 13. We have lost quite a few, still haven't had a draw. And I think we're currently second in the league in terms of goals scored, competing with Tottenham, actually, who we're playing today, who've scored 44 goals, which is absolutely insane. So they're either losing by narrow margins or they're belting the living shit out of teams. When you look at the likes of Lucas, Dele Alli, Christian Eriksen, Harry Kane up front, of course they're going to tear some teams apart in this division and in this league. Right, ball now with Trippier, plays it forward. I forgot Trippier and Rose are both playing against their former teams. If we can get some goals out of them, that'd be awesome. Oxford wins the ball back high up the pitch, though Kane has won it back and he's in behind. It's a good strike, and thankfully the follow-up Similar to St. Tossan in the last game against Everton, he fell to his left foot, but thankfully he screws that one wide. Danny Ings only on a 6.7, and it looks like he's picked up a knock. If he can at least get through to half-time or an hour, we can bring Callum Wilson off the bench, and it's not as bad for either one. It just looks like a bruised thigh. I don't know if he can play through that. Ricardo now on the right-hand side, plays it across to Dyer, all the way back to Theo. Vertonghen now to Dyer, out to Mora. It's one back by Danny Rose. Do we have a counter-attack on us here? Ashley Barnes has gotten in behind. Does he have the pace to keep them off? He gets the strike away from the top of the 18-yard box, but it's low and wide to the left-hand side. Poet, and I didn't even damn know it. Tactical changes coming through here, so I'm not sure what it is that they're doing. Looks like they're playing a little bit more on the counter-attack. They're set up to defensive as their default before the game started. 7 shots for them, and they've had more of the ball. Man City have taken a lead against Derby County. They are just a relentless footballing machine. Andrea Bellotti getting the goal for them in the 34th minute. Around the grounds, doesn't look like Chelsea are currently winning. They would go above us, I think, under current structure. Oh no, they are winning. Arkadiusz Milek with a goal against Southampton. Arsenal are beating West Brom. Man United are 1 goal up against Crystal Palace. So everybody else is winning their games. We desperately need to get our 3 points as well. Danny Rose has, of course, picked up a knock. Thankfully, Tyrone Mings is on the bench. And I'm going to be aggressive, and I'm going to make 2 half-time subs. So let's go into the dressing room, and let's deal with these players that are carrying injuries. So Tyrone Mings will come on for Danny Rose, and Danny Ings will come off with Callum Wilson coming on. Let's passionately tell everybody. Media have given you a lot of credit, lady. Put on a worthy display. Nobody seems to give a shit. You have the ability to make a real difference. You have the ability to make the real difference. Oh, I said I'm not happy. I didn't mean to do that. But it seems to have worked, and you have the ability to make a real difference. They've responded well. A little bit of Oprah there. You've made a difference. You've made a difference. You've made a difference. And everyone seems to respond pretty well. Drinkwater with the ball now, but that is the end of the highlight. I know that there's a draw coming, and I know that this run will eventually finish. I understand that. I get it. But we've been so good in November and December. I just want it to continue. Callum Wilson now to Ashley Barnes. Is there an overlapping run on this right-hand side? Ball with Grealish now. Finds Trippier, playing against his former club. Instead he goes back inside to Tom Davies. Played forward to Wilson. Ball's won back though by Ricardo. It's a long ball forward towards Harry Kane, but Reece Oxford comes forward aggressively and wins that header very, very well. Sessegnon on the left wing. Gets a deep ball in. Vertonghen comes to the top of the box. Hits the deck for Grealish, and Grealish pokes home. We are in such good form at the moment. It is scary, and it makes me not want to stop. This is when you get most addicted to the game. It's like when you're playing like roulette or blackjack or something like that. Don't ask me to explain those games. I don't understand them. But when you're winning, when you're on a hot streak, you never stop. You keep going. You keep going all night. So we're going to probably record about 100 episodes this afternoon. It's going to be great. The longer we play, the longer this streak continues. Why am I getting ahead of myself? It's only the 50th minute. I need to calm down. Jack Grealish has picked up a yellow card now. Sessegnon, despite his role in that goal, is only on a 6.5, so we might try and give it to around 75th minute maybe and look to bring Ademola Lookman on. Burnley have taken a lead against Everton, which is great for us. Everton back-to-back defeats would get them off our back a little bit. And you can see gaps starting to open up in the table. Tyrone Mings now with a throw-in on the left-hand side to Sessegnon, played forward to Wilson. It's ball across to Barnes. He's got one more here for Grealish. He looks for it, but it goes back to Lloris instead. Danny Drinkwater tidies up very, very well. Finds Tom Davies, who goes out to Sessegnon on the left-hand side again. Skips around the outside, gets a decent ball in, but it's cleared away as far as Dyer. Dele back to Ricardo. Some decent play here from Tottenham. They're very, very deep as a midfield. It's either they get Harry Kane out 1v1 or nothing happens. And speaking of, Harry Kane gets in behind and thankfully misses that one. He's not getting a whole lot of support from his other players. I think that's something to do with their defensive structures at the moment. Liverpool have taken the lead against Huddersfield. They are closing in on us as well, though we aren't really dropping points at the minute. Kane comes forward, reverse pass for Dele Alli, and it is a fantastic save from Jack Butland, who I think has been our best player in this series and deserves to have a small statue built out, a bronze statue built out the front of Dean Court in his honour. Chris Smalling hooked that one away in the end. 20 minutes remaining. Should we look at using our final sub? Yeah, let's do it. And let's go with Sessegnon off, Lookman on. And hopefully Ademola can have a similar impact that he did against the game. A similar impact as he had against Everton. I have faith in you. Let's go out. He looks relatively happy, which is good. just trying to keep the squad happy, trying to keep those 11 players that don't necessarily start every game in as positive a frame of mind as we can. Oxford tidies up, goes back to Butland. It's a long ball forward. Barnes will challenge. It's brought down for Wilson. Out to Grealish. We've got men forward if we can find him. Lookman now on the left-hand side. Hangs the ball back stick. Grealish comes forward, knocks it down for Callum Wilson, and that is a man who is not in decent form at the moment. He hasn't scored in a while, and he puts that one straight at Jordan Pickford. We're not in bad form, but we're pretty much doing it on the back of Ashley Barnes scoring every time he plays, which isn't a complaint. I love Ashley Barnes. He's been fantastic for me in this season. I picked him up in Ultimate Team on FIFA 19 now that it's coming out, and he's not as good, but I can't help myself. I just love him. Ricardo with a strike there, and thankfully it is over. Tottenham are coming back into this. You can see their shots are starting to add up very quickly. We have taken control of possession though. Grealish now on the right-hand side. He has Trippier, but he forces the ball forward. Ramirez wings it back. Kane, Dembele, and Ali all combine. Christian Eriksen now looks towards Harry Kane, who seems to be playing up front in a 2 now. They've changed their structure a little bit. Ball forward to Dele, finds Eriksen to Andoni, who I'm not familiar with. Dembele now with the strike, and Jack Butland has been phenomenal in this game, keeping us in it. We've not been at our best in these 2 matches, but we are thankfully managing to hold on. Barnes now. Is this the end of the highlight? Crossfield switch comes through. It's played back, and that is the end of that particular highlight. We're into the last 10 minutes now. Lloris with a free kick, I think was from an offside. Trippier wins the ball back really well. Lookman on the left-hand side. Can he take his man on? Steps inside, looks for Wilson in the channel. Hang a ball up, finds Grealish. Ball across to Davies, to Wilson, and he's gotten the goal. He's at least found some sort of response. A great assist there from Tom Davies, knocking it down for him. I believe he side foots this one into the far side netting. It's good play. Grealish puts it back across when maybe he could have shot or squared for Barnes, but Davies knocks it down really well, and Callum Wilson with fantastic finish. 2 goals. Surely that's enough, referee. We can call it in the 83rd minute. We don't need to play all 90. People are tired. They want to get home. They want to start doing their New Year's Eve celebrations. Our goal difference has boosted up tremendously as well. It was only a couple of episodes we had a 0 goal difference, but we've had some great victories, or just some consistent like 2 and 3-0 victories, which has very quickly become a plus 14 goal difference. They do have a counter-attack here though, which is concerning. And Doan on the right-hand side, they get a ball across. Reece Oxford does fantastically well, but it's Ricardo. Ball comes back out to him, and I believe he was trying to cross that back stick and has instead hooked that one into the top corner. We're going to use a shout, and we're going to demand more. And Doan now puts it in. It's a great run from Oxford to clear that one out. Ricardo does try and cross, and it beats everybody and pretty much hits the pigeon on the far side. So a bit of a fluke goal there, though they have had 16 shots now. So I've demanded more. We're into extra time. There's 4 minutes remaining. Can we hold on here? 2 very close fought fixtures in this one. You can see our form is starting to fade away just a little bit, but we are still getting decent results. Man United destroyed Crystal Palace. Just going to do wonders for their goal difference. Dele now with the ball in. Kane's gotten in behind. We're into extra time. It's away by Smalling, away by Drinkwater. Jack Grealish just needs to clear it, and he does. Surely, referee, that is it. Aurier plays it forward, and the referee calls full time. Tom Davies, back-to-back Man of the Match awards, I think. I know Jack Grealish got it in the end, but Tom Davies, 2 assists to 7.9. He has been absolutely fantastic for us. All right, so that result sees us still 1 point behind Manchester City. They have twice the goal difference we do with 26. They beat Derby County 3-0 today. They are just crushing teams. Despite both United and Chelsea... Chelsea dropped points with a 1-1 draw against Southampton. Man United thoroughly beat Crystal Palace. They do still have a game in hand, but both teams are 37 points. We are 42, so there is a gap. So even if they win their games in hand now, we will still remain in second position in those Champions League spots, continuing to try and bring football home, and hopefully make the Champions League next season. We probably won't play the next season. Given the timeline between now and Football Manager 2019 coming out, this is probably the last season. But if we can at least do it, having challenged for a title, having qualified for European football, I think that's a really great send-off to, in 2 years, turn Bournemouth from, a kind of middle-of-the-run Premier League team to a Champions League qualifying side, challenging for Premier League titles with entirely English talent. It's a hell of an achievement. So Jack Grealish, obviously fantastic in this game, gave us the lead, and then also played a role in Callum Wilson's goal as well. He finally ends his goal drought. He had played 11 hours of competitive football without a goal, but he hadn't played poorly. He is still leading the team in terms of assists at the moment with 9. Jordan Ibe with our highest average rating. He is still out for a few more weeks. And we're sharing the load in terms of player of the game awards. Ashley Barnes, of course, Jack Grealish and Danny Drinkwater with 3 apiece, which is fantastic for them. So we're at the halfway stage of the Premier League season. We're currently in second spot. Fingers crossed in the second half of the season we can maintain some of that form, carry it on a little bit further and hopefully overtake Manchester City. Let's have a look at our schedule here and see when our next game might be. There's some decent fixtures coming up. We do have Arsenal in a couple of days and Stoke. I'm probably not going to play either of those matches. We might come back towards the end of January and play Crystal Palace and Liverpool at home. Crystal Palace, of course, finished 5th last year. They went toe-to-toe with us for that last Europa League spot. They've also had Europa League football this season, but they haven't done that well in their group. I think they are knocked out. So we'll come back for the games against them and then against Liverpool. We had phenomenal results against Liverpool last season. And then February's going to be interesting, seeing what we do there. We do have our Europa League first knockout leg against Krasnodar. And there's a couple other decent fixtures around that time as well. So we'll see how we go. As always though, I've been Sean. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any feedback, please put it in the comment section below. If you want to be kept up to date on future videos, subscribe to the channel, or you can follow inthemixer_FM on Twitter. There will be a link in the description. But more than anything, I just appreciate your view. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys again in the mixer.